A lot of guys you met, a lot of teachers you have followed, they have shown you a lot of techniques, a lot of ways to improve your speaking English. But unfortunately, you couldn't get help. Your English is not improving fast. Your speaking English is as poor as it was before. Today I'm going to give you only one way how you can improve your speaking English. You may be surprised. We have followed a lot of ways, lots of techniques you adopted, and you couldn't improve your speaking English. And I'm telling you just one way. How can it be possible? All right. You watch the video and try to follow. Maybe for 1 week or 1 month, if you practice, you can get result. But it is also important that learning is invisible, because to improve a language takes a long time, and to improve your language, if you need a lot of time, you won't carry on for long. It happens to everything. You say prayers 5 times a day, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but at one point you stop it, or you stop for some months. Again, the month of Ramadan comes and you start again. This is what happens to most of the Muslims. There are devoted Muslims who are very careful. Whatever happens, they continue saying prayers regularly. Some of the Muslims have found they're so much serious about even congregations. They say their prayers in congregations. My eldest brother, he never misses it. Whatever he has got to do, still he gives the priority. His priority is to attend set prayers with the congregations, including Fajr prayers, that is early morning prayer, even it is sunrise, before sunrise, maybe 1 hour before sunrise, even it's the winter season, horrible weather outside, and he lives in Rajshahi town, but sometimes he comes to his own home that's in the village near Bansha. He doesn't miss it. So it's the motivation he has. That's the thing. He continues saying prayers, whatever difficulties for him. So spoken English is not easy, but still you can improve it because you love it. You're passionate about it. You're serious about it. Whatever happens, you must do it if you have that kind of motivation. If you talk about cricket players, can you imagine? There are few cricket players who can play, just 11 players or some more players can play. And there are so many people, if you talk about Bangladesh, there are 18 crore people, and there are only 11 to 20 cricket players. And not all of them are important, just 2 or 3 maybe batsmen or 2 or 3 bowlers are very important in a cricket match. So you understand, first you have to grow your motivation, and motivations are different from one another. If you want to get a good job, that's motivation. If you want to get a good girl as your girlfriend, that's another motivation. And if someone proposes you on one condition, that if your English is good in a very short time, I agree with you, I agree with you, I'll marry you. So there are different kinds of motivations. These motivations are divided into 2 ways: intrinsic motivation and extrinsic. So extrinsic motivation is external motivation. MacGyver was a very popular drama serial in American English, and it was very difficult to understand not only the language, the context, scientific thing, science fiction. Very difficult. But I loved it. As I liked it very much, I always wanted to understand what MacGyver was saying, the other actors and actresses were saying. So it was something serious to me, and I decided that I must understand it. When I was listened to BBC Radio at the time, BBC Radio was the only means to get very good, effective news coverage. My father used to listen, my brother used to listen, and the surrounding people also used to listen, especially the male. Usually the female did not like it much. And I was thinking, the radio program news in Bangla will start at 7:30 in the evening, and just for 30 minutes. And then another time it was at 10:30 the same night. And what I found is that when something serious, like in 1990, Ershad regime was ousted, Ershad was ousted. So a lot of BBC, news was very much important, and a lot of people were waiting for the time. So I didn't like it. I thought, why should I wait if I know English? BBC broadcasts news 24 hours in English. And when I saw some English speaking people, foreigners, maybe German, maybe American, maybe Australian, in the town, I liked it very much to be familiar with them. I wanted to know the culture that they belong to. So these were intrinsic motivations, internal motivations. That's why I could manage my English as I was a village boy. There was very, very incongenial atmosphere. There was no way to improve English. Very few books, and the books only grammar books. English for today, class 9, class 7, like that. And if I read those books, how can I understand MacGyver? How can I understand BBC World Service? So I had a struggle, serious struggle. Did I hate that struggle? No, I enjoyed that struggle because I had a special intention to improve my English. So the thing is that I had a strong intrinsic motivation. Unfortunately, you guys don't have, because you're overburdened with education, classes, coaching centers, tuitions, so many things. Very often neck and neck. Oh, exams one after another. As I'm a university teacher, I teach at university. I'm an assistant professor of English literature, language, English language teaching, that is in short, ELT. There are things. So what happens is that it was terrible to practice. I remember one thing. One of my friends I loved very much. He has always been my best friend. He lives in England for quite some time. Maybe he's crossed 14 years. He had also a special motivation. He practiced with BBC World Service Radio. So he was the only boy I could mix and practice with him. So one day we saw something in newspaper that says send 350 taka with a pay order bank. It was very difficult, in that period of time. And 350 taka was very expensive, and I was a student of intermediate. So still, I and my friend and I managed the money and sent it. And some days later, we were waiting anxiously for English learning cassettes. The cassettes were reached. We were very anxious. Open. We played the first one. It says 1 act, 2 dui. Horrible. This is how All these three cassettes were very elementary. There was no help. It was terrible. We felt very bad. We spent so much money. We waited anxiously. Nothing. Just BBC World Service radio. I had 3-band radio. Later I bought a 12-band radio. How can you tune properly? Very difficult. It was almost impossible to properly listen to even BBC World Service radio. Still, I crossed 32,000 hours. Maybe I'm the one who's listened to BBC World Service radio a lot. Do you think BBC World Service radio can help improve English so much? It's not possible. Listening to BBC World Service is not enough because they use professional English, they use difficult vocabulary, they use political vocabulary, different genres. And I was young, I did not like these stories, the news broadcast on BBC World Service. I understand it was terrible. And little later, it was not possible to keep the track. Radio was going down, very sound was horrible. A lot of problems were there. Still, I crossed 32,000 hours listening to BBC World Service because I had intrinsic motivation. What about you? Do you have? I don't think very few of you may have. You don't need it much either because now you have opportunities, different ways to improve your speaking, listening, reading, writing. For example, if you watch this video, this is how you can watch it, is because of YouTube. There are millions of videos in YouTube. Millions. Very difficult. At the time there was no opportunity. Now you have opportunities, but the number is much higher than you needed. You needed very good videos, but there are millions of videos. All the videos are not good, not appropriate for your improving language. So at the time there was a problem that we did not have any way to improve our speaking or our skills. True. But now you have a little problem that you have to find out which videos can help you more because millions of videos out there. And you have so many teachers. YouTube is really the best teacher, but the problem is so many English teachers are teaching you in internet